What role will Tim Tebow have in the Jacksonville Jaguars offense? We got to talk about it.
I want to give a special shout out to the sponsor of this video, Manscaped. So Manscaped recently just launched their Lawnmower 4.0. And listen, if you are a guy who does a lot of shaving underneath, the Lawnmower 4.0 is the perfect tool for you because listen, my first time shaving a couple of months ago went terrible. I had a bunch of scrapes, I had a bunch of bruises, and I also had patches because I didn't finish the job. So when Manscaped sent me the Lawnmower 4.0, I used it, and I was a little bit scared, okay? Because I was like, I ain't trying to give myself patches and give myself injuries like I did last time, my first time shaving. But when I used the Lawnmower 4.0, let me tell you guys something. It was a easy process. I had no scrapes, no bruises. It was no pain. Listen, if you're a guy who does a lot of shaving underneath, make sure that you guys go ahead and cop the Lawnmower 4.0 using my promo code JT for 20% off plus free shipping off your Manscaped purchase. Once again, make sure that you guys use promo code JT for 20% off your purchase plus free shipping. Your balls will thank you.
So recently, news came out that the Jaguars signed former quarterback Tim Tebow to a one-year deal and that they will be switching his position to tight end. Now, I'm not here to talk about was it a good move or a bad move for the Jaguars to bring in Tim Tebow? Does Tim Tebow deserve another shot at the NFL? I'm not here to talk about that. I'm just here to tell you guys how I think the Jaguars will utilize Tim Tebow this year in their offense if he is able to make the roster. Now, obviously, Tim Tebow hasn't played football in pretty much nearly a decade, but I'm pretty much expecting Tim Tebow to be in pretty good shape because a couple of days ago it was reported that the Jacksonville Jaguars brought out Tim Tebow for a workout and they work him out at tight end. So I'm expecting him to be in pretty good shape because if he didn't have a good workout and he wasn't in football shape, then I don't think the Jacksonville Jaguars would have signed him. So I think Tim Tebow moving to tight end, they're going to utilize him in different scenarios, similar to how the New Orleans Saints utilize Taysom Hill. Like, we just don't see Taysom Hill just, purely at tight end. Like, I think we're going to see the Jaguars and Urban Meyers utilize Tim Tebow in, different formations. Just try to find a way to get him the ball. Like, I think we'll see him wind up at tight end for a good amount of times. I also think we could see him move around formations. Maybe he'll line up at fullback one formation. Maybe they line him out wide at receiver in certain formations. I just think that if Tim Tebow makes the Jacksonville Jaguars 53-man roster, that we're just not solely going to see Tim Tebow just stuck at tight end, because if he didn't have a good workout, then I would take it that he wouldn't be in good football shape. So obviously Tim Tebow's in pretty good shape. If he was able to land a workout with Jacksonville, he was able to make the roster. Like, I don't think Urban Meyer would just have Tim Tebow on the roster just taking up space if he didn't think that Tim Tebow could have, some way of a role or some way he could impact the Jacksonville Jaguars offense this year. So I most definitely think that we're going to see Tim Tebow utilize the same way we see the Saints use Taysom Hill. I also wouldn't be surprised if we see Tim Tebow have like some short yardage packages when you see the Jacksonville Jaguars line up in like 3rd and inches, or maybe it's 3rd and goal. Maybe we see Tim Tebow come in at quarterback and run a quarterback power play. Maybe he'll come in and run the Wildcat. Maybe we'll see him run a little bit more designed quarterback runs than what we would see if they had Trevor Lawrence in. And a lot of people may be like, well, JT, Trevor Lawrence has pretty good size. Like, why wouldn't they just utilize Trevor Lawrence? Well, you look at Tim Tebow, I mean, he is really big. He's bigger than Trevor Lawrence. And on top of that, you don't want to risk your starting quarterback getting injured. So it would make sense for the Jacksonville Jaguars to utilize Tim Tebow in certain short yardage scenarios. And he's also really big. So if you utilize Tim Tebow in short yardage packages, I could also agree with that. I think that would be a pretty unique way to utilize him. Like, I just think that there's just so many ways that Urban Meyer probably has, drawn up in his head for how he plans to use Tim Tebow, because you look at what Taysom Hill has done with the New Orleans Saints. I think that kind of gave Urban Meyer an idea. They're like, okay, Tim Tebow isn't the best quarterback, but he is still at his age a pretty good athlete. So you can take a pretty good athlete and still find ways to get him involved, like we saw with Taysom Hill during his couple of years with New Orleans. So like I said with Tim Tebow, I'm not here to break down Was this a good decision? Was it not a good decision? I'm just here to talk about how the Jacksonville Jaguars are potentially going to have him involved. Now, obviously, we know that he's going to be a great locker room guy. We know he's going to work hard. We know that he's going to be a guy that, you know, the players probably will like, that Urban Meyer probably likes. And on top of that, Urban Meyer is trying to build a culture. That's what a lot of people aren't talking about. When you're building a culture, you want to have a couple of guys there to help kind of lead the room per se. For Urban Meyer, you bring in a guy like Tim Tebow, he's definitely going to be a guy who's going to help Urban Meyer push the kind of culture that he's trying to build in the locker room. So from a locker room standpoint, okay, the Tim Tebow signing makes sense. Then on the field, you know, Urban Meyer probably wants to find ways to utilize him like how Taysom Hill has been used for New Orleans. So I'm eager to see, you know, if Tim Tebow is able to make the Jacksonville Jaguars 53-man roster. And if he does, are the Jacksonville Jaguars going to utilize him in the various ways that I mentioned? You know, jet sweeps maybe, design quarterback runs, wildcat formations. You also have, you know, Tim Tebow isn't the best thrower of the football, but he also could be used on some trick plays. You know, maybe you bring him in on the wildcat look, third and short. You got the defense looking at Tim Tebow come in. You put Tim Tebow at that wildcat quarterback spot, and maybe you catch a defense lacking. They're like, okay, we're just going to go all in on the run because they obviously have Tim Tebow in to run the football. Okay, defense thinks that Tim Tebow's in for a run play in the wildcat formation. Instead, it ends up being a passing play that it could end up going for a touchdown or moving the chains for a couple of additional yardage. So I really think that the Jaguars are going to use Tim Tebow more in different scenarios than just lining him up at tight end, because like the tight end position is one of the most difficult positions in all of football to learn. Not only are you learning, you know, the routes that receivers have to run, but you're also learning how to block, recognizing and picking up blitzes in certain formations. Like, it's really difficult to learn the tight end position. The tight end position just isn't a simple position that you can just come in, you know, not really having a lot of playing experience and just come in and produce right away. Like, there's a learning curve to the tight end position. So I strongly doubt that Tim Tebow was signed just to be a pure tight end. Like, obviously he's going to be used in way more different scenarios than just being a pure tight end. So let me know how you guys feel Tim Tebow will be utilized in the Jaguars offense this season. Make sure that you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and content, and thanks for watching.